So it looks like we're going to have major move in the striker market this summer. Liverpool reportedly linked with a ton of them, from Victor Gyokeres to Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike as well. So, whether you know this or not, I host a show most Mondays on Redmen Plus called the Bias Football Podcast with Chris Pajak, Chloe Bloxham and Dan Clubb. And I asked the question and set the challenge of predicting where all of the major strikers on the auction block this summer will end up. Let's predict the summer of strikers' moves. Where will all of these strikers who are potentially on the market this summer end up at the end of this transfer window? So on September 1st/2nd, whatever it is, who will these footballers be playing for? Big one, first and foremost, Alexander Isak. Has anyone got the bottle?
Someone shit-housed there.
Well, everyone, by the looks of it, has absolutely shit the bed on this one.
One of us actually wrote out the word that began with L and then deleted it and wrote...
Oh, who was that?
I went all the way. I typed Liverpool.
You typed Liverpool?
Yeah, Chloe was on the sheet.
I was literally on the sheet and I was like, oh my God. And as the God left my mouth, I saw it getting deleted instantly.
Wow. So, Dan?
Every fibre of my being wanted to put Liverpool in there.
Yeah, same.
Every fibre. And part of me wishes I did to this point. I just think we're acting in such a manner this summer. And again, to come back to our point from the pod earlier on, it's not been shut down by anyone. It's been the opposite of shut down. It's a possibility. Liverpool are in that conversation. Liverpool are keen. It just feels like something's brewing under the surface and we're just going to put our fucking package on the table, for want of a better expression, and
slap our package down on the table.
I was going to go worse with that, so I saved you all momentarily.
Take a photo of it like an Amazon delivery driver.
Do you know what?
No!
Oh my God. Get your laughing gear around that. No, I just think we are. I honestly think we are going to do something a bit
So
mad.
Why the fuck have you put Newcastle down if you're that sure?
From a shit house, obviously.
I'm the same. I think when I got down to Ekitike, I was like, oh, no, I want Isak at Liverpool.
And Chloe, you've gone Newcastle.
Yeah, because I don't think he'll come to Liverpool. I love to live in that world, but I'm not with you. I think there's a very small chance of him joining Liverpool.
Worst 2%.
Listen, I'm sat here giving it all out. The first one to fill. Did I fill? Yeah, the first one to fill it was me. And I put Newcastle, but I've put it down in some sort of vain anti-jinx kind of situation, I think. But like, because I actually totally agree with what you said there, Dan. I completely agree. I said maybe just at the end of the season or just before the end of the season on this show, I thought Liverpool would like go for someone like Harry Kane this summer. I thought we would make a big move for someone who was just brilliant in that position. And can
we go through them?
Okay.
Right, because I think I want to talk about this a little bit, but I don't want to ruin everything else.
The other thing, though, I reckon I also put Newcastle because my body will not let me believe that we could possibly go my body won't let myself get excited about the potential of bringing Florian Wirtz in alongside Isak.
No, you're right, and I couldn't believe in the Wirtz stuff for like
be
weeks.
Happy
well, we were in the
come.
exhibition centre before the Red Weekend there, and we were like, we need to film something, and like the news had dropped like an hour before. Oh, he was actually looking for properties, you know, to live around Liverpool and all that kind of stuff. We're like, and he's informed Bayern that he wants to live in Liverpool. I was like, fuck off. This can't possibly be real. I couldn't wrap my head around that at all because it just seems so very un-Liverpool in its own way. Okay, go on, maybe we'll revisit it. Victor Osimhen, we mentioned it on the podcast. Everyone said from a Liverpool perspective said no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chris, you and I have both put our lack of knowledge of the individual Saudi clubs to the test here by just putting Saudi.
Al Ronaldo. Anymore. No. They've kept the name. I've gone with Saudi because they keep going back to him and offering him more money, and at some point he's going to go, okay, because I don't think that many people are going to come in for him.
Do we not think... Chloe, you've gone Galatasaray, so you think he'll stay put?
I think he wants to stay in Europe, and I think the best offer for him is probably going to be from Galatasaray.
It's borderline, like, you know what I mean? Dan, you have said very much. You've gone Juventus.
Yeah, I just think I agree with all you, but I think he's resisted the advances of both Saudi and Galatasaray up until this point. I don't think that's going to change necessarily, personally.
And who steps in? An Italian side.
Yeah,
always an Italian side
though,
to pick up the pieces.
They're really desperate for him. The issue there is it's one move from an Italian club to another, which never really happens. I don't think they've got a great relationship either, to be honest with you. But still, I think there will come a point at some point in the window where he's not going to stay at Napoli. That's for certain. And I think at some point there'll be enough striker movement going on. Napoli might have their guy, i.e. Darwin, and they might just go, you know what, let's just sell at this point.
I think Saudi's the smart money, because why wouldn't it be? Because there's clearly an interest there, and I think that I just wonder. But I do think on the balance of probabilities on it, I think it's one of those where if a good European club makes a move for him, I think he'll jump at it. If a Premier League club makes a move for him, I think he'll jump at it. But then he's left with Galatasaray or Saudi, and then it's like, well, he's had a good time. He's obviously scored loads of goals last season, and you're right, it's, you're getting European football and all that kind of stuff. But it's whether they just go, well, if I can't get it now, it's another year of me earning double, triple my wages. I might just end up, Saudi feels like where he'll end up unless someone good takes a punt. But I just have this feeling like someone, we did our podcast with Steve the other week, Chris, and how Liverpool ended up with Balotelli because they're desperate for a striker, and what was left on the market was Balotelli and Eto'o. And so we were going to end up with one of those two. And I do just wonder whether Liverpool want a striker, Chelsea is still in the market for another striker, United want one, Arsenal want one, Newcastle seemingly and for a backup as well, whether someone just goes,
everyone's already got a partner for the ball, and there's one
a little
left.
bit of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Isak to Liverpool, Osimhen to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's say that.
Ekitike, 3 of us think he is Liverpool bound.
I don't know when I put it.
3 of us think he's Liverpool bound, and Chloe thinks Chelsea.
I'm not sure Liverpool go and spend €100 million on a lad who I'm just not convinced is the best on the market. I don't think Liverpool go and do that. I don't think Liverpool panic because they panic buyed with Darwin Núñez, and look at what happened. I think like we all mentioned, I think Liverpool want a bit more reassurance that a player's going to be able to come to the Premier League and score goals. And his strong point isn't that. It is link-up play. And don't get me wrong, you can, in a decent squad, he might be able to rack a decent amount of goals up. For me, I just reckon 85 mil for a lad I've hardly ever heard of. I mean, and that's not my job. The scout's job is clearly that. I don't know.
Make sure that Chloe knows who he is.
I don't think Liverpool.
Ads on Facebook. Ekitike. Wow, this Ekitike.
I don't know. There's just something about it that I feel a little bit reserved about in terms of Liverpool putting them. I think they'll just wait until a player who they are desperate for comes available.
If we'd not just bought Vert and not be linked heavily with Isak, I'd have been all over this.
I think he's really good, and I think it'll work for us. I just don't like the idea of what in my head is Liverpool getting their third choice centre forward, and I think he is their third choice centre forward. Alvarez, I think, is their second. Probably you could rank them like that if you want. I do think it's probably Isak for Liverpool, Alvarez, and then Ekitike a little bit further back. And I don't think this Liverpool goes with their third choice centre forward.
My slight concern on him, Dan, is I think he might be a Solanke, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think Solanke's a good Premier League forward, but he's not a Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a complete centre forward, a world class centre forward who is lethal in front of goal, but is actually brilliant at linking the play as well. And I think, as per the conversation a bit of last week, he can probably link the play really well, but maybe not scored a lot of goals. And maybe that's more important to us. And I'd argue it's probably slightly more important to us than just getting a pure number 9, which is why I think he's on the list. rather than some of the others, like Gyokeres as an example. But do we want that situation where the chips are down and you get one chance and it drops to Ekitike and he's not scoring because he's a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 goal scorer?
Yeah, I take the point. I think there's a lot of room for improvement still. And I think Liverpool, this is more actually in keeping with the sort of business I expect Liverpool to do.
Yes.
To be honest with you, in terms of this, he hasn't quite exploded yet, but you can see there's a lot there to work with, and at some point he will explode. So this is a very Liverpool transfer from the Bundesliga as well, which we like doing. So I think there is a lot to like about him. I take your point on the money. It's a lot of money, but you have to pay a lot of money for strikers. Ultimately, it's kind of the long and short of it. Like that comes with the territory.
If Nunes wasn't the last example of that, I think
You'd be
yes,
less fearful of it. Yeah,
but
I take that point.
I am absolutely fearful.
My
of that
major
happening
concern
again.
is exactly something you said a moment ago, Chloe, in terms like Liverpool will just wait and bide our time. Darwin Núñez is going to leave the football club. Like Diogo Jota, huge question marks remain over his fitness and actually more recently his form and the way he's played. I can't envisage a world, unless Florian Wirtz is the answer to what I'm about to say here, and he is the false nine we've all been waiting for and longing for since Bobby left. I struggle to see how we go into the season without a striker.
It can't. I don't think that Florian Wirtz is Slot's answer because of all the rumours around on the striker. As much as I think it would work fine, just with rumours of Isak and everything else, Wirtz isn't the answer.
Sorry,
but we do have to have an answer.
But when we having this conversation around the DM this time last year,
yeah, true,
and then it was just Gravenberch.
But then I don't think Florian Wirtz will have been convinced to come to Liverpool to play false nine.
Yeah.
And that seemingly is a big reason as to why he came, because he got sold the project by Slot. And you're right, if we're still getting linked by the best people to a 9, they haven't told that Wirtz is going to, you know what I mean? So I fear, and people have suggested Diaz has done it for a bit. Diaz is still linked with Move Away as well, and that wasn't a perfect fit in terms of him doing it either. I mentioned the Jota points. Darwin Núñez, he's going to leave, and if he doesn't leave, then my fucking God, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I
do wonder on him. There'll be an interesting decision to be made if Isak becomes a hard no, and let's say Julian Alvarez or whomever become a hard no. You've got a decision with Ekitike of, are you better off? And I agree. I think Darwin will go regardless. But are you better off with keeping? You've got Diaz and Jota as your centre forward options, and buying a left winger like Gordon, than buying an Ekitike to play centre forward, and then you just sit it out for a season and wait and see what happens, because it's not doing nothing, but it is also a little bit of what Liverpool have done. If the perfect option doesn't exist, the next best thing actually might be slightly.
Well, there's rumours of that in the press, isn't there? And over the last sort of few days and stuff, you know, was it Lewis Steele reporting that we're after a forward? You know, not necessarily
versatile forward.
Not necessarily someone who's one position specific. I think that you're right. I think that is probably, if we don't get the centre forward that we want, that's the way that we'll move.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, 3 votes for Liverpool on the Ekitike. I agree with you, Dan. This is a month ago. I was like, this is definitely, this is 100% a Liverpool piece of business, but it doesn't quite fit with what we've been talking about and how we're feeling about how Liverpool conduct themselves.
So it's me, Dan, Paul have said Liverpool, and Chloe said Chelsea.
Yeah, he has been linked with Chelsea. I think Chelsea will offer him a lot of money. They love mad strikers who, why not add another to their long catalogue of them?
There's talk of them moving Nicholas Jackson out. Well, just in general, I guess, in selling him. And they've got Delap, they've given him the number 9 shirt. He's started quite well at the Club World Cup by all accounts as well. I think Jackson's only going to get better as a footballer. And then you buy him, that's not. I mean, it's Chelsea, so that's not. I'm not expecting joined up thinking.
Really not out the realms of possibility, though.
No, because
in fact, it's probably nailed on to happen now that we've started.
Chelsea could sign 3 of these.
Yeah.
But Chelsea are by all accounts the favourites, because it sounded like they'd done the most legwork on this one again. But what are they doing?
It does feel like Liverpool. Sorry, Colin. It does feel like Liverpool are just going, he's on our list, but we're not pushing that at the moment.
I agree.
And more than likely, Chelsea will probably offer him a 9-year deal. He'll probably get banned for something, and you'll have to pay him whilst he doesn't play football at all.
Okay.
When's he banned till? 2030, Mudrick?
4 years, I think.
Moving on then, Gyokeres.
Quick though.
3 people think he's going to be playing for Arsenal. 1 for Manchester United.
Because only you'd put your answers in, and I thought, curveball, let him throw Arsenal in here. And then to see you two throw Arsenal as well, I was quite surprised.
Why?
I just think he
Dunno,
guarantees
just-
goals. I'm not sure Sesko. Gyokeres for me in my head, and look, I probably did this with Darwin Núñez. In my head, he guarantees more goals than Sesko does, and I think that's what Arsenal need right now. I think Sesko would be the better buy, but I don't. I think they need a fucking Premier League title in the next 2 years, and I think Gyokeres has more chance.
It's not the goals thing for me. It's how doable and how straightforward is the business. There's a pretty straight line towards Victor Gyokeres in terms of getting it done, and that's what I just think Arsenal will plumb for in the end. They just
You
go
say
for
that.
it. That he's there. He has a gentleman's agreement. Whether he does or not is a different fun question.
He's saying he does.
He's saying he does. I suppose Lisbon aren't quite as sure, but he wants to leave. You know, it just feels relatively straightforward. Whereas the Sesko one feels more complex. I just think Arsenal will eventually fall upon
And
it.
also, I think Sesko pretty much turned down the chance of going to Arsenal.
Previously,
And look, football, people have egos, so maybe Arsenal go, well, fuck you then, and we'll go and there's a better striker now. Who knows?
I guess rather than the wider Arsenal conversation, and we may as well kind of link Sesko in with this a bit, because why I've gone Man United for Gyokeres and I've gone Sesko for Arsenal because I just think Sesko will go to Arsenal, because I just think I've heard there's been so much about that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
I think I saw in the news the other day there's a number that they're stalling over where he just wants a lot of money, which is why I end up going with
Yeah,
Man United,
and
they don't say no to players who want loads of money.
And honestly, but but the Gyokeres stuff, who last week was publicly basically snubbing Manchester United, but it's a bit like the Osimhen thing for me, where he's got no choice but to leave Sporting now, really, because he needs to make that move and get a different level. The merry-go-round thing, I just think toward the end of the window potential, when one or two have moved, it's going to cause a bit of panic in the market, either from the players or the clubs. Definitely. And I feel like Sesko just feels like a very Arsenal signing. And that is to say, good technical player, might be really good, but he's probably not quite what he needs. So that fits the bill for Arsenal. And then Gyokeres, all of a sudden, the options he wants have dried up, and he goes, Ruben Amorim for 3 months until he gets sacked. You know,
the striker holding pattern is fascinating to me, and it's obviously the very conversation that we're having, because you're right. We always talk about domino effects in transfer windows, but this feels more prevalent than ever. The fact there's like 6 or so, you could include João Pedro if you want to. There are other strikers out there. You're waiting just for one to move, and the knock-on impact that has is going to be really, really interesting.
I get the point about Gyokeres. I think right now the reason I said Arsenal is because you can only assume Ruben Amorim's telling them, do not fucking come here, please, like, save yourself.
Yeah.
But also, at the same time, the later in the window it gets, the more Amorim will probably be like, I might need you to try and somewhat save me job at some point. And Gyokeres at that point will probably just want money, so I can see that. I don't know why, I just thought he'd be better for Arsenal.
Do you think Amorim might not rate him that much?
Not possibly.
You know what I mean? Well, if he's not absolutely hounding down his guy that scored all the goals for him in Portugal.
Might like him.
He might want him for his next club.
Yeah.
Or potentially that. There is that. Yeah, but I wonder whether he just thinks, you know what? Again, I'll come back to my point from last week. He hasn't done it in the Premier League. He did it in the Championship. Brighton allowed him to lead the football club. He struggled at Swansea. Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I mean? He's 27.
Manchester United, tell you.
Yeah, that is a fit.
Yeah. Okay, then. Yeah, the Sesko stuff. So Chris and Chloe think United, and Dan think Chelsea. I presume you guys are the reverse of what I've kind of said, that Gyokeres goes to Arsenal and then Sesko's left needing somewhere to go, and United push the button on him.
Yeah.
Fair. Dan, Chelsea?
Yeah, well, why not?
They're going to sign someone. I haven't got Chelsea in there, but I also know they're going to sign one of them.
I don't feel wholly...
All three.
All three.
I don't feel massively strongly that he will end up at Chelsea, but I get to your point, I just think they'll do something at some point, and he's probably on the move, so why not?
Why did none of us put Chelsea for Osimhen? That's like, surely...
Because it's been going for 3 years,
That is a thing,
It does feel like a natural fit, though, doesn't
that's...
it? They've been crying out for their Drogba replacement forever, and he just is a big, powerful number 9 who holds it up, and absolutely.
Yeah, they've been crying about getting him back one more time. Yeah, no. I mean, again, you could literally see Chelsea going trying for all of these anyway, couldn't you? Okay, the final one I have on the list is Julian Alvarez. We've all gone Atletico Madrid. I mean, their chairman or owner or whatever was very clear a couple of weeks ago that he basically said he'll die at Atleti, which sounded half of a threat as much as
it's
anything
the press they put on, mate. Honestly, like, they just never stop.
He scored a disallowed goal, I think it was against PSG, and it was just a wonderful finish. It was just one of those effortless into the bottom, not even quite into the bottom corner, but it was just ruthlessly efficient past the goalie. You've said about him a lot, Chris, is like he would be... would he be above...
Yeah.
He's like for you?
Yes.
He would.
Yeah. And I've been saying it for about 4 weeks. Chloe's been saying this for about 18 months. Like,
Yeah. As soon as I wanted him when he played for City, I then heard he was moving and wanted him even more when he left. I was so thankful when he left Manchester City to go to Atleti. Like, I couldn't believe that no one was talking about it as much, because they weakened their side so much by not having him. The problem is you know, I reckon he just probably really enjoys playing in Spain in the sun.
Why did he leave, do you think?
I reckon he wanted to be the main man.
come on. There you go. He wants to play football.
That's my case. Anyway, on the point...
Not to win trophies.
He's not as good as Isak, mate. I'm sorry.
I think he's a perfect fit.
I think
he's a perfect fit.
I think, I like it. Maybe not in terms of being an out-and-out striker. I just think he's so versatile. He can do absolutely anything.
He's
he gets
versatile
goals
forward,
from everywhere. His press is absolutely insane. He's a monster. He does all the hard work for you, and he's available pretty much every single week.
But as your 9, it's Isak.
Oh, look, if you're saying to me Udo won't running through on goal with the ball at his feet, it's Alexander Isak. But
who do you dream?
From what I've seen of this Liverpool side, Isak doesn't get a lot of the football, and I don't think that matters to Julian Alvarez. I think he can offer you a lot more from what I've seen of Liverpool under Slot so far.
Do you know my dream would be? This is fantasy land, so bear with me momentarily. It's Nunes and Jota out.
Yeah.
It's Isak and Alvarez in. Because I think you're right.
Yeah, that is fantasy.
Because you've got your different types.
Yes, absolutely, mate.
Me and Paul nearly flipped the tables over there.
You've got your different types of forwards to the point. You've got your versatile guy who can be your Jota, who can play across it, a bit more diminutive, you know, that type who can press.
It's a great idea. We should do that.
We should just do that.
We should just do that.
If you're watching, I've boxed it for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I think you've got the answer. I don't think anyone's actually got... There is no better answer.
No.
Yeah, 100%. It's like someone said, like, rate him 1 out of 10, infinity. There you go, have that. Yeah, can't beat infinity, can
Infinity
you?
+1.
Yeah, it technically wasn't the scale we were working to, but it's but it's absolutely fine. Alexander Isak scored 27 in 42 all comps for Newcastle last season. Julian Alvarez got 29 in 56 all comps. For what it's worth,
In a side that doesn't attack.
yeah.
By the way,
But also, if we say that, but also is chock full of ridiculous attacking talent at the same time as well. 17 and 37 in La Liga. That is for Alvarez. 23 and 34 in the Premier League for Isak. I think look, there is really no wrong answer. There is a super right answer, which stands.
Obviously. I really do think that Liverpool's is Isak, Alvarez, Ekitike. Mine's like Alvarez, Isak, Ekitike.
Piece of paper between the two of them.
Ekitike's third.
I think I understand Isak more, and by that I think because he looks like a striker. You know, I see a modern Fernando Torres type thing in that, with a little bit more going for him.
I think Alvarez will do everything.
But Alvarez,
God, we'd love him as well, wouldn't we? He'd just fit right in.
He's
as
a
like
shit house at times as well. Oh yeah. Just give
but that being said,
opinions in the squad.
No one has even given a single second thought to it not being.
Oh yeah, no, because I don't actually think he cares to leave.
Cool. There's no reason for him to leave, is there? We've still got Isak and some of the reasons he might want to. There's none of that.
Alvarez has won fucking everything.
None of that exists for Alvarez there.
They're both the right age as well, by the way. You know, he's 20, they're both 25, right? Or 25 certainly for Alvarez. That feels actually like one where I think he's a little younger, so he might have another year where he goes into another year. Let's go. Maybe you can prize him out next summer more.
Also,
likely.
it's got fuck all to do with anything else. But Alvarez's hair this past week in the World Club Cup thing has been stunning. So I'm all for that as well. On board with that.
Okay.
Anyone
check out his Instagram because I'm not up on the Club World Cup.
Oh, well.
Anyone want to throw any other forwards or strikers?
Can we revisit? Because I want to change some of my answers now.
Okay.
Isak,
Final answer.
Liverpool.
Chris has gone Liverpool.
I'm doing
Newcastle.
that too. Fuck it.
Are we all... Oh, right, Chloe's...
I'm doing this.
Come on,
Sorry.
let's reorder. We've had the conversation. Let's reorder.
Chloe's sticking with it. Danny going back to...
I'm going back to my roots and going Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck it.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, what a...
I was going to change it when we were talking before.
What a-
but I
what a
decided to
group.
hold on. Osimhen, I'm changing from Saudi to Chelsea.
That makes sense, yeah, it does make sense.
Tottenham.
Tottenham for Osimhen. Tottenham.
Fucking hell.
Sure. Ekitike, not Liverpool
Wait,
then.
hang on. What about them?
Yeah,
You holding?
Osimhen.
Sticking on Osimhen?
Chelsea, please.
Yeah,
as well.
Chelsea.
Goes to Chelsea
Probably
for the
that.
event.
Please, as
Wow.
well, yeah.
Okay, you
Stick
stick
on
with
Galatasaray.
My
Galatasaray.
gut was
No,
Chelsea anyway.
I'm going Chelsea.
Oh, fucking hell, Claude.
Okay.
Who's Ekitike?
Yeah.
Oh, Man United. Oh, what about Man United
Right,
for Osimhen?
this changes things now because
I like how you vote Osimhen. Chloe, Osimhen is going to Osimhen.
Yeah, he's going to play for himself. Ekitike then, so surely we're not signing Isak and Ekitike.
No, we're getting Isak and Alvarez. We'll just
come on, we know this, Paul. Fucking hell.
Fuck it.
Keep up,
Newcastle.
will you, son?
Newcastle.
Yeah,
I like
the
that.
Isak replacement.
I'm going to keep Ekitike at Liverpool.
Wait, you take Isak to Liverpool?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds
I'm keeping
okay.
Ekitike.
I'm keeping mine with Chelsea because they actually are the type to buy two strikers.
Yeah.
I'm going to move Ekitike to Chelsea now.
Ekitike to Chelsea. Okay. Yeah. Okay, fair. Okay, we happy with that then?
Yeah.
And then Gyokeres, Arsenal. Yeah,
I'll stick with that. Yeah, it's
I'll
fine.
stick on that. Sesko, United, Chelsea,
Chelsea on
Arsenal.
him. I'm going to have to change that, aren't I?
I'm going.
really.
United.
I'll go Newcastle for Sesko.
Okay.
Oh,
So they're going to have to buy one of them, aren't they? You imagine.
Yeah.
We've got Isak now, so
okay. I'm sticking with
Are
Arsenal.
you? Okay. Don't. I'm coming back to this.
I've got United first.
I've got in my head that Aston Villa are going to need a striker at some point here. I don't think Ollie Watkins is that good anymore.
I agree on that point, by the way, but I don't think it's one of these guys. They're signing someone you've never heard of.
Stick with United, yeah.
Okay. Julian Alvarez, all sticking with Atleti.
Sadly.
Yeah.
John, what was the point you wanted to make?
I would like to know where you, Paul, who has Ekitike and Isak going to Liverpool, think Anthony Gordon is going to end up this summer.
I think,
Fucking hell.
you know what? Just in terms of hedging me bets, Liverpool. Because I think we're either signing Isak, Ekitike or Gordon. I think we're signing one of them three.
And Harry Kane.
Yeah. If he moves. You know what?
Anyone who
We
breathes.
don't have with me, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, you
one
know,
Harry Kane in that circumstance.
No, don't want Harry Kane.
would you rather have Harry Kane or Hugo Ekitike?
Ekitike.
Yeah.
You know who Harry Kane is, don't you?
I was going to say a
Testing
born
him,
winner, but that's not true, is it? But like, Harry Kane is goals, mate.
He's also a...
He
He
was.
is fucking goals. And you know what the
Yeah.
best thing is? We would be able to lay claim to him having that like all-time Premier League striking record if he won it at us as well. We'd be fucking
You're mean.
That's true.
You're just
I'm
mean.
not doing that. I'm sorry.
fuck Alan Shearer.
Yeah. You scored 20 goals at us and you're taking the record.
We'd
with you.
literally have to sell Harvey Elliott first. That would have to be a thing. There's no way they could be the same football
Oh,
club
well, that's
together.
happening anyway.
That's
Like,
probably gonna happen anyway.
what
Yeah.
things that are on the way. Just very last, any other players that we want to chuck out? Like Rashford, where do you think Rashford's going to end up?
United.
And they're United.
Yeah, I've got a real feeling he's going to be the next Anthony Martial and just
Yeah.
basically fucking
João Pedro.
Galatasaray for me.
João Pedro is the other one.
go Galatasaray in place of Osimhen, who's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Love that shout.
Yeah.
João Pedro could
João
be a Villa
Pedro.
shout.
Yeah.
He could be a Villa.
I think Villa needs a new striker.
Okay.
Because they don't have Rashford or
John Duran went, didn't
Asensio,
he?
John Duran
Where's
went, Ollie Watkins
Darwin
isn't great.
Núñez going to end up?
Napoli.
Napoli.
I think.
If they've got the money, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they've got the money.
Yeah.
I think so.
You're dead against the
It's fucking Italy, mate. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's fucking season-long loan. Promise to buy him at the end, and then lo and behold, here he comes back. We've been here before. Honestly, it's fucking pathetic. Absolutely fucking
Keys might go
pathetic.
there instead then.
Well, they can afford Geyser.
Yeah, so that's why,
But
yeah,
like, they're
How much can we get for Chiesa?
15 million, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
Maybe 20.
10.
If we make a profit, I'd be...
I think we'll make a profit on.
Yeah. Okay.
After a year of amortization, it's so made up at the moment.
I'm not gonna lie though, I'm gonna be absolutely fucking devastated because that is the best song we've
We
got.
should be keeping for the song alone. That's what I would
10
do.
million a year. Wait, is that right? Now, okay, the next question then. Is there anyone on this list who's got it right?
All of them.
All of them.
Oh no,
No,
absolutely
it's not.
fucking
Well, it's definitely not me because Liverpool aren't buying Isak and Ekitike.
And Gordon as well.
I'd take two. I'd take two out of them. If I got two right, I'd be fucking elated.
Yeah.
When we revisit this mid-September, I'd be over the moon.
I've just doubled down on a Liverpool striker there. That's what I've done. I've not gone for the full set.
Point, actually. Yeah, you could have just put
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let us know what you think is going to happen with all those players. Where are they going to end up? Let us know.
If you want to watch that show and, every show we do every single week on Redmen Plus, head to redmenplus.com. It's pretty much in the name. Amazing Liverpool content, documentaries, features, interviews, and you can get half price off a month using the code WIRTZ, WIRTZ. Yeah.